Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the evening news. The headlines. Number of active cases of COVID-19 in the country continues to decline to 11.12% from 17.13%. Recovery rate improves to 87.76%. Over 2,57,000 fresh cases reported in the country in last 24 hours. Health Ministry says incoming foreign aid to combat COVID-19 being expeditiously dispatched to states and union territories. Lockdown extended in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to check surging COVID-19 cases. Centre provides 23,680 additional vials of amphotericin B to states and UTs to check the rising number of black fungus cases. Railways delivers nearly 14,500 tons of liquid medical oxygen to various states so far. High-level meeting to be held tomorrow to discuss conduct of exams for Class 12th and entrance examinations for professional courses. Cyclonic storm Yas over East Central Bay of Bengal likely to intensify into a very severe cyclonic storm. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba holds meeting to review preparedness of central and state agencies. And in hockey, Narinder Batra re-elected as FIH president for second term. As the number of COVID cases is on the rise, we appeal to our listeners not to lower their guard, take all precautions, and all those above 45 years who have taken the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine to get vaccinated with the second dose at the scheduled time. Stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. The Union Health Ministry has said that India is registering continuous decline in the number of active cases of COVID-19 and further improvement in recovery from the infection in the past 20 days. Addressing media, Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry Love Agarwal said the number of active cases has now come down to 11.12% from the level of 17.13%.
देश में हम देखें तो पाते हैं कि पिछले 20 दिनों से ऑन ए कंटिन्यूड बेसिस एक्टिव केसेस में रिडक्शन नोट किया जा रहा है, जहां 3 मई को देश में 17.13% केसेस एक्टिव केसेस की दृष्टि में आते थे, वह घटते घटते अब 11.12% हो चुका है। इसी तरीके से रिकवरीज में भी हम एक पॉजिटिव ट्रेंड नोट कर रहे हैं, जहां 3 मई यानी कि आज से करीब 20 दिन पहले टोटल रिकवरी परसेंटेज देश में 81.7% थी, वह बढ़ते बढ़ते 87.76% हो चुकी है। देश में 2 करोड़ 30 लाख से अधिक लोग रिकवर हो चुके हैं। हम देखते हैं कि पिछले 9 दिनों में रिकवर्ड केसेस कंटिन्यूड बेसिस पर एक्टिव केसेस से ज्यादा आ रहे हैं देश में, जो कि एक बहुत ही पॉजिटिव ट्रेंड है। 22 स्टेट्स ऐसी हैं जहां पर रिकवरी जितने डेली केसेस रिपोर्ट हो रहे हैं उससे अधिक है।
Mr. Agarwal said the recovery rate has improved to 87.76% from 81.7% on the 3rd of May. He said so far more than 2 crore and 30 lakh people have recovered from the infection. The Health Ministry has informed that in the past 24 hours, over 3,57,000 COVID patients successfully recovered from the disease and over 2,57,000 fresh cases were recorded nationwide. Mr. Agarwal also informed that action has been taken to ramp up supply and availability of antifungal drug amphotericin B, and 5 additional manufacturers have been given license to manufacture this drug within the country.
एक नया विषय, जैसा आप सब लोगों को पता है, हमारे सामने एक चैलेंज के रूप में आया है कि हम कैसे ब्लैक फंगस को मैनेज करें। उससे संबंधित एम्फोटेरिसिन बी, जो कि एक एंटी फंगल ड्रग है, जो देश में लिमिटेड सप्लाई में शुरू में अवेलेबल थी, उसको बढ़ाया जा रहा है, जिसके लिए 2 तरीके से एफर्ट किए जा रहे हैं कि कैसे हम सप्लाई को बढ़ाएं और कैसे उसकी अवेलेबिलिटी को और फर्दर बढ़ाने के काम करें, जिसके तहत 5 एडिशनल मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को देश में लाइसेंस दिलवाने का कार्य मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फार्मा, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ कोऑर्डिनेशन से कर रही है। इसके साथ ही जो अभी एग्जिस्टिंग मैन्युफैक्चरर्स हैं, वह भी अपनी कैपेसिटी और अपने प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी को बढ़ाने से संबंधित कार्य कर रहे हैं।
Mr. Agarwal said states have also been advised towards the need for infection prevention and control to manage fungal infection in health facilities. Chemical and Fertilizers Minister D.V. Sadananda Gowda has said after a detailed review of rising number of cases of mucormycosis in various states, a total of 23,680 additional vials of amphotericin B have been allocated to all states and union territories today. In a tweet, Mr. Gowda said the allocation has been made based on total number of patients, which is approximately 8,848 across the country.
In view of the rising cases of mucormycosis, known as black fungus, the Health and Family Welfare Ministry has advised all states and union territories to review their preparedness for prevention and control of this fungal disease. Mucormycosis is a fungal complication being detected in COVID-19 patients and affects mostly those who are suffering from diabetes. The Union Health Secretary has written a letter to the Chief Secretaries and Administrators of all the states and union territories asking them to establish a hospital infection control committee and designate an infection prevention and control nodal officer. It has also asked to prepare and implement an infection prevention control program in hospitals and health facilities. The Bihar government has declared mucormycosis disease an epidemic. This decision was taken in a core group meeting chaired by the Chief Minister, Nitish Kumar. The mucormycosis disease, also known as black fungus, has been declared an epidemic under the Epidemic Disease Act 1857. The state government has made special arrangements in 4 hospitals of Patna, including AIIMS, PMCH, IGIMS and NMCH. In all, 174 cases of black fungus have so far been reported from different parts of the state. Karnataka's Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has informed that the expert committee appointed to find out the reason for growing cases of black fungus has submitted its preliminary report. More from our correspondent.
Minister Dr. Sudhakar informed that fungal growth is witnessed in cannula and other equipment used in the ICU. Hence, he said that expert committee has recommended that the equipment must be sanitized for every new patient admitted in the ICU. Follow-up checkup has been advised to those cured of black fungus infection. Those on steroids and taking amphotericin B, in particular, have to get their renal functions monitored. Any facial pain, foul-smelling nasal discharge, nasal stuffiness, eye symptoms like redness in the eye have to be reported immediately. Clean and sterile water is recommended for use in the humidifier during home oxygen therapy. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The Union Health Ministry has said that incoming foreign aid to combat COVID-19 is being expeditiously dispatched to states and union territories. The centre has been receiving international cooperation of COVID-19 relief medical supplies and equipment since the 27th of last month from different countries and organizations. The ministry said 16,530 oxygen concentrators, around 16,000 oxygen cylinders, 19 oxygen generation plants, more than 11,000 ventilators and 660,000 remdesivir vials were dispatched so far by road and air. The Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said more than 1 crore 60 lakh COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories. The ministry has said the central government has provided over 21 crore 33 lakh COVID vaccine doses to states and union territories so far. Of this, the total consumption of doses, including wastages, is over 19 crore 73 lakh. The ministry has assured that more than 2,67,000 vaccine doses will be provided to states and union territories within the next 3 days. The centre has written to all states and union territories regarding vaccination of transgender persons. The centre has said an awareness drive on vaccination, specifically reaching out to the transgender community, can be initiated in vernacular. The centre has also requested states and union territories to ensure that the existing COVID and vaccination centres are transgender friendly. It has asked them to ensure that no discrimination is shown towards transgender persons who come for vaccination. The centre has requested all states and union territories to open separate vaccination camp or mobile booths for vaccination of transgender community, as taken up by some states such as Haryana and Assam. The centre has said this can help the members of the community come out for vaccination without any fear or stigma.
Health Minister Harshvardhan has said that India will be in a position to vaccinate its entire adult population by the end of this year. He said health facilities are being upgraded upon the speculation that the virus might mutate in future and endanger children. During a COVID review meeting, Dr. Harshvardhan said between August and December this year, India will procure 216 crore vaccine doses, while by July this year, 51 crore doses will be procured. The Railways has delivered nearly 14,500 tons of liquid medical oxygen so far to various states across the country. The Railway Ministry said that 224 oxygen expresses have completed their journey so far and brought relief to various states. Oxygen expresses have been delivering more than 800 tons of liquid medical oxygen to the nation each day. CSIR, Central Scientific Instrument Organization, has transferred the UV disinfection technology developed by it to 28 manufacturers to combat SARS-CoV-2. Ministry of Science and Technology has said that the product is tested for more than 99% disinfection and could be used as a retrofit solution to air handling units of buildings, transport vehicles and other spin-off applications. It has said that this technology has been developed according to the requirements of deactivation of SARS-CoV-2 virus contained in an aerosol with necessary ventilation measures and necessary safety.
The Karnataka government has extended lockdown in the state till 6 a.m. on this 7th of June. Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa said the decision was taken at a high-level meeting with senior officials and ministers. The existing lockdown was to end on the 24th of May. The Karnataka Chief Minister also said the state government has decided to give free treatment for mucormycosis patients in the government district hospitals. COVID-19 vaccination for 18 to 44 age group has also begun from today. During the program, frontline workers are being given priority over other eligible persons. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin announced extension of full lockdown in the state for another week till the 31st of May. The decision was taken today at the all-party meeting chaired by the Chief Minister at Chennai. The statement from the Chief Minister's office said vegetables and fruits will be sold directly at the houses through carts in coordination with local bodies. Except for pharmacies, milk, pet shops and petrol bunks, all other shops will be closed. Considering total lockdown, shops will be opened today and tomorrow till 9 p.m. and buses will operate till 9 p.m. tomorrow for travel to other districts. More from our Chennai correspondent.
Tamil Nadu has been recording more than 35,000 positive cases in recent days in spite of the lockdown measures announced earlier. Though the number of fresh cases have declined in Chennai, the suburban areas and the neighbouring districts have recorded increase. The Chief Minister, after review of COVID situation in Salem, Tirupur, Coimbatore, Madurai and Tiruchirappalli, told that there was need for stricter lockdown measure to control the pandemic, increase in number of oxygen beds and COVID care centres. The government has instituted a war room for logistic COVID coordination, a committee of all party representatives and medical experts, and also a coordinating team to tackle the pandemic through non-governmental organizations. Apart from this, 22 ministers are supervising COVID-related activities like vaccination, COVID care facilities and availability of oxygen beds in 14 districts which are hotspots. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
A Gram Panchayat in Maharashtra's Palghar district has come up with a novel idea to reach out to COVID-19 patients who have mild symptoms. The Gram Panchayat of Umbarpada has been distributing medicine kits to patients who are in home isolation and cannot visit medical stores to purchase necessary medicines. More in this report from our correspondent.
Various local social organizations too have joined hands with the Umbarpada Gram Panchayat in Palghar district of Maharashtra to distribute medicine kits to COVID-positive patients in home isolation. The medicine kits are distributed to the patients after consulting the doctors. The Gram Panchayat in their endeavor took help of the messaging app WhatsApp. The messages about the medicine kit was widely circulated in the group of members of the Gram Panchayat. In order to reach out to more and more people, these messages were further made viral by the members of the Gram Panchayat themselves. As a matter of fact, the Umbarpada Gram Panchayat distributed these medicine kits to around 25 neighbouring Gram Panchayats, which ultimately helped more than 700 patients to take the benefit of this program. The Aadhaar card details and phone number of the patient is taken before distributing the kit. With Neetu Savre from Palghar, this is Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Rajasthan, the weekly COVID positivity rate has dipped after rising continuously for 11 weeks. Today, for the first time after 47 days, the number of new patients was 6,103. Our correspondent reports that the government has also taken many steps for the control and treatment of black fungus.
The increasing number of cases of black fungus remain a cause of concern. The state government has authorized 20 hospitals in 6 cities for the treatment of black fungus patients. Guidelines have been issued for these hospitals. The maximum rate of treatment for this disease have also been set for private hospitals. A special ward has also been set up at Sawai Mansingh Hospital in Jaipur for treatment of patients with this disease. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has discussed in detail with members of Council of Ministers about extending the lockdown period in the state. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has urged the centre to give permission to all the foreign COVID vaccines to be used in India. Mr. Kejriwal has written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in this regard. He also urged the centre to buy and distribute international vaccines to the states. Mr. Kejriwal said international vaccine manufacturers should be permitted to manufacture vaccines in India. The Chief Minister also urged the central government to increase the vaccine quota for Delhi. Senior BJP leader and Union Minister Prakash Javadekar today took a dig at Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal for politicizing every COVID management strategy of the centre and said Mr. Kejriwal should stop making excuses for every issue. Referring to the demands of more vaccines by the Delhi Chief Minister, Mr. Javadekar informed that the National Capital Territory has already been allocated 50 lakh doses of COVID vaccines. He added that the centre is providing vaccines to every state and the number is going to increase manifold in the coming days. A total of 2,260 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in the national capital during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 14,15,000. The Delhi government said over 13,60,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, more than 6,000 people recovered and 182 deaths were reported in the city.
Sikkim today extended the ongoing statewide lockdown effective till 24th May to 5 a.m. on 31st of May in view of continued COVID-19 case positivity of over 20% over the last few weeks. The state reported 287 new cases on Saturday based on 1,003 tests, taking total cases to 12,808 and active cases to 3,194. The state has reported 4,856 COVID-19 cases and 63 case fatalities this month so far. More from our correspondent.
The decision to extend the current lockdown, which came into effect on 17th May, was taken at a meeting chaired by Chief Minister P.S. Thamang today in Gangtok. During the extended lockdown from 24th May, milk, vegetable and ration shops will remain open during 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. while medicine shops and petrol pumps will operate normally. All establishments, state government offices, institutions, markets and factories except those engaged in the production of medicines, medical equipment, oxygen and allied sectors will be closed. All activities, congregations and movement of vehicles will be prohibited except those involved in essential and emergency services, COVID-19 testing and vaccination. Movement of passengers boarding or returning from Pakyong or Bagdogra Airport and New Jalpaiguri Railway Station in West Bengal will be allowed on production of tickets and negative RT-PCR reports conducted within 48 hours of arrival. With Saikat Sarkar and Pankaj Jungal, Parijat Sharma from Gangtok for AIR.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Number of active cases of COVID-19 in the country continues to decline to 11.12% from 17.13%. Recovery rate improves to 87.76%. Over 2,57,000 fresh cases reported in country in last 24 hours. Health Ministry says incoming foreign aid to combat COVID-19 being expeditiously dispatched to states and union territories. Lockdown extended in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to check surging COVID-19 cases. Centre provides 23,680 additional vials of amphotericin B to states and UTs to check the rising number of black fungus cases. Railways delivers nearly 14,500 tons of liquid medical oxygen to various states so far. High-level meeting to be held tomorrow to discuss conduct of exams for Class 12th and entrance examinations for professional courses. Cyclonic storm Yas over East Central Bay of Bengal likely to intensify into a very severe cyclonic storm. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba holds meeting to review preparedness of central and state agencies. And in hockey, Narinder Batra re-elected as FIH president for second term. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the evening news. A high-level virtual meeting will be held tomorrow to discuss the proposals for the conduct of exams for Class 12th and entrance examinations for professional courses. All states and union territories' education ministers, education secretaries and chairpersons of state examination boards and stakeholders will participate in the meeting. The meeting will be chaired by Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. In a letter written by the Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank to states and union territories, the minister said the Department of School Education and Literacy and Ministry of Education and CBSE are exploring options regarding the conduct of examinations, keeping in view the safety and security of the students and teachers amid the COVID-19 pandemic. In view of the prevailing situation, almost all the state education boards, CBSE and ICSE have postponed their Class 12th examinations this year.
Senior BJP leader and Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today objected to Congress leader Kamal Nath's remarks calling the new COVID variant as the Indian variant. Mr. Javadekar alleged that his comments are an insult to India, saying WHO has clarified that no country's name has been attributed to any variant. He accused Congress of creating fear and misconceptions among the people and weakening India's fight against the pandemic.
कांग्रेस नेता कमलनाथ ने कहा कि इंडियन कोरोना, भारतीय कोरोना, कुछ लोग इंडियन वेरिएंट कहते थे, ये तो इंडियन कोरोना कह रहे हैं. और उन्होंने आगे कहा, यहाँ रुके नहीं, उन्होंने कहा हमारी पहचान मेरा भारत कोविड. कांग्रेस के बयान क्या कहते हैं? ये कहते हैं कि देश का तो अपमान है ही, लेकिन देश की कोरोना के खिलाफ जो लड़ाई है वो कमजोर कर रहे हैं.
In view of COVID-19 pandemic, BJP will not hold any celebratory event to mark the 7th anniversary of Narendra Modi government on 30th of this month. Party President JP Nadda said the BJP workers will organize programs to serve people in different parts of the country on the occasion and express gratitude for giving chance to serve them for the last 7 years. Mr. Nadda asked party leaders to prepare a plan to support children who have lost their parents due to COVID-19, saying standing with them is their social responsibility.
A low-pressure area has formed over the east central Bay of Bengal since this morning. According to the Indian Meteorological Department, it will intensify into a cyclonic storm by tomorrow and further into a very severe cyclonic storm thereafter. It is likely to cross West Bengal, North Odisha and Bangladesh coast by the 26th evening. Accordingly, all the coastal districts of Odisha are prepared with identification and cleaning up of cyclone shelters and evacuation plans. Meanwhile, the National Crisis Management Committee, NCMC, under the chairmanship of Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba, met today to review the preparedness of central and state governments and agencies to deal with cyclonic storm Yas in the Bay of Bengal. Reviewing the preparedness of the central and state agencies, Mr. Gauba stressed that all measures should be taken in a timely manner so that loss of lives and destruction of property is minimized. Mr. Gauba also stressed that safety of COVID patients should be ensured and disruption of functioning of COVID hospitals and centers avoided. Director General of the India Meteorological Department IMD briefed the committee about the latest status of the cyclone, which is expected to reach the West Bengal and adjoining northern Odisha coasts by Wednesday evening, with wind speeds ranging from 155 to 165 kilometers per hour, accompanied by heavy rainfall and storm surges in the coastal districts of these states. NDRF has deployed 65 teams and 20 more teams are on standby. Rescue and relief teams of the Army, Navy and Coast Guard, along with ships and aircraft, have also been deployed. On the other hand, Odisha is fully geared up to meet any eventuality of the impending cyclone. More in this report.
Coastal districts in Odisha have been asked to keep cyclone shelters in readiness to accommodate the evacuees from the areas likely to be hit by the probable cyclone Yash, while food, medicines, drinking water and electricity backup are being ensured. At the cyclone centers, about 22 teams of NGRF, 66 teams of ODRAF and 177 firefighting teams are being deployed for rescue and relief operations. Naval fleets and aircrafts are also in standby mode to intervene should any such exigencies arise. Meanwhile, all the fishermen of Odisha out in the sea are now back to safety. Girish Chandra Das, AIN News, Bhubaneswar.
The government has said that 17% more wheat has been procured during current Rabi marketing season in comparison to the corresponding period last year. The Consumer Affairs Ministry said a quantity of over 382 lakh tons of wheat has been procured against the previous year's corresponding purchase of 324 lakh tons. The ministry said about 39 lakh 55,000 farmers have already benefited from the ongoing procurement operations with minimum support price value of over 75,514 crore rupees. One-Stop Center scheme being implemented by the Women and Child Development Ministry has provided assistance to over 3 lakh women so far. The scheme is being implemented across the country since 1st April 2015 through state governments and union territory administrations to provide integrated support and assistance to women affected by violence and in distress. Till date, a total of 701 one-stop centers in 35 states and UTs have been operationalized.
Narinder Batra of India was re-elected today as the International Hockey Federation FIH president for the second term after beating Marc Caudron of Belgium by a slender margin of just 2 votes during the World Body's virtual 47th Congress. Mr. Batra secured 63 votes as against his rival 61 to emerge winner during the online voting process in which 124 member associations participated. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. Srinagar will be having a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 18 and 29 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature will be 21 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 37 degrees. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Minimum and maximum temperature will be between 3 and 18 degrees. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 19 and 25 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, sky will be mostly cloudy. Minimum temperature will be 14 degrees, maximum around 23. The national capital, Delhi, is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. The temperature will hover between 19 and 34 degrees. Mumbai will have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature will be 27 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 34. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will vary between 25 and 35 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. City will observe a minimum temperature of 29 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 38 degrees. Now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Number of active cases of COVID-19 in the country continues to decline to 11.12% from 17.13%. Recovery rate improves to 87.76%. Over 257,000 fresh cases reported in the country in last 24 hours. Health Ministry says incoming foreign aid to combat COVID-19 being expeditiously dispatched to states and union territories. Lockdown extended in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to check surging COVID-19 cases. Centre provides 23,680 additional vials of amphotericin B to states and UTs to check the rising number of black fungus cases. Railways delivers nearly 14,500 tons of liquid medical oxygen to various states so far. High-level meeting to be held tomorrow to discuss conduct of exams for Class 12th and entrance examinations for professional courses. Cyclonic storm Yas over East Central Bay of Bengal likely to intensify into very severe cyclonic storm. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba holds meeting to review preparedness of central and state agencies. In hockey, Narendra Batra re-elected as FIH president for second term. With that, we end the evening news. Good night.